I had a good friend die when I was 10. We'll call him John. He died pretty tragically, too. He was hit by a car, literally, right in front of my house when he was chasing down a ball that bounced into the road. Fast forward 7 years, I'm babysitting my little sister, and she is playing outside. I'm on the porch swing, reading, and she's shooting hoops on a little Tykes hoop. The ball bounces out into the road, and I look up to see her yell, "Don't go after that ball, John." Freaked the crap out of me. She never even knew about John. I asked her who John was, and she said that he would play with her sometimes outside. This was the early 80s, and my sister lived in Toronto. One day she decided to come down and see some old friends and visited with our parents. I wasn't born yet. Our parents live in a rural area, all farm and country. She stayed late and left around 9 p.m. This was late fall, so it was nearly pitch black. But about 8 miles into the drive back into town, the car she borrowed broke down. Luckily, she broke down in front of a house. They let her use the phone to call Dad to come pick her up. After he came down, the people let her park the car in the driveway until the next day. It was about 10 p.m. when they started driving back to my parents, since she decided to stay the night after this. They went through a wooded area, trees as far as the eye could see on both sides, when suddenly they hear this incredibly loud, inhuman scream. That was louder than the car. It was even louder than the radio. Dad slammed on the brakes, and they were like, "What was that?" When suddenly, something appeared on the side of the road. It was a coyote, only it was about 6 feet tall and walking upright on its hind legs. It crossed the front of the car and went to the other side of the road, and then that same scream happened again, only 10 times louder than before. Dad slammed on the accelerator and got the heck out of there. One night, when I was maybe 10 or 12, I had trouble falling asleep. My bedroom was the entire top floor of our house, with my bed and such being on the left side and storage closets and a play area being on the right. I was lying in bed when I heard a noise from the other side of the room and see a rocking horse begin to rock. It was sitting outside of one of the storage closet doors. It proceeded to rock its way halfway across the room and stopped dead under the ceiling light. At this point, I was freaking out and just buried my head under blankets and never peeked out again until morning. It was my birthday week, and my 13-year-old cousin came over and spent the week with me and my family. We'll call my cousin Adam. It was maybe the last night of him being over, and we were outside around 8 to 10 p.m. It was a full moon that night, so it was really beautiful. We were at the edge of the yard, tall grass and brush about 7 feet in front of us. Adam was taking a video of the moon, when all of a sudden, this small white light began flickering in the brush. It wasn't a lightning bug, since it was white light, and it stayed in the same position, just flickering on and off. I pointed it out to Adam, and it freaked him out, because we didn't really know what it was. I eventually went to check it out by moving through the tall grass and into a clearing with 2 houses on my left and a small hill that dipped down into more tall grass to my right. I noticed the light wasn't in the position it was earlier, but it had joined another light down the small hill next to a tree. It was dark outside, obviously, so I couldn't see who it was. That's when I looked past the tall grass under the hill and past a creek where the woods began to see at least 25 other lights flickering on and off at me. At this point, Adam had already ran back into the house, and I began calling out, saying stuff like, "Who are you? What are you doing out here?" No reply, just a continuous flickering of the lights. I was a bit on edge now, not scared, just alert. Eventually, I got tired of yelling at whoever it was and said that I was going back home. I turned around after about 5 steps and saw all the lights still flickering. I said, Okay, I'm really going home now, to the lights, and began walking back home. But once more I turned around and was instantly terrified. Every single one of the flickering lights were gone. I quickly made my way back inside the house, and Adam and I kept talking about it all night. The next day after Adam left, I went around the tall grass and brush with my kukri machete strapped to my belt. I was a few feet into the woods when I heard these strange noises coming from about 50 feet in front of me. Right after the noise ended, I heard two people laughing. When I went to step forward, I tripped over a fallen tree limb. The laughing immediately stopped, and I heard the people running the other direction. Fast forward to August, since this was in the summer, and a loud booming noise that sounded like a shotgun blast could be heard from right outside my window. It is around 10 at night, and my dad calls the police. The police came and searched the area. The people that made that noise were never found. Now, as I plan to camp this year in the same woods this happened in, I wonder if anything else is going to happen. I still do not know who these people are or what their intentions were, but ever since the loud noise, nothing unusual has happened. Hopefully, no one will end up hurt. Hey, thank you for watching my first ever video, and I really hope you enjoyed. There are a few rough edges that I'll be smoothing out for future content, so just bear with me for the time being. But stay tuned for more videos. They are on the way. And another note, this first video can basically be called a test run since it had a lot of rough edges to it, like I said earlier. I'm still getting the hang of things since I find all the stories and edit the videos myself. So, thanks again for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.